This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Well, it is Tuesday night. It is time to ramble, and boy, we have a lot to dive into on this edition of Ramblers Unleashed. Good evening, everyone, and I hope your week is going well so far. As you can see, we are down one Rambler, my best friend, Max Magus. He is on assignment right now, but you know what? Just because Max is gone, he's never really gone. Am I right, guys? Don't speak at once. Don't all speak at once.
The way you two have been treating me and J-Bone the past month, you know what? It's good to have a little break from your best friend.
You know,
maybe we could rekindle our friendship of fucking 500 years here, Dizzy.
I'm telling you, I'm not the one, and Max isn't the one who snuck off and had Culvers in a park together, okay? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
But
if it makes it any better, we were also running for our lives. We were running from bears. So,
well, yes, you were. But, you know, just because Max is gone doesn't mean he has to be gone. He's still here in spirit. And let's hear a rousing tune from Max, shall we?
I'll be home for raw flicks.
No, he won't.
You can count on me.
Yeah, I know.
Please have gold and bloody noses and presents on.
It's a little dated, but that's Max. We miss you, buddy. And hey, you know what? It's all good because Max is.
We're gonna get funky.
Okay.
Everybody, yeet your hands.
Yeet,
yeet, yeet, yeet, yeet your hands. Yeet, yeet, yeet your hands.
Come on, Darren.
All right, we're gonna do the basic yeets. Yeet to the left. A yeet to the right.
Baron's like,
Take it
whatever,
back now,
dude.
y'all. One yeet this time.
Yeet.
Right foot, let's yeet.
Yeet.
Left foot, let's yeet.
Yeet.
Cha-cha real smooth. Now turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One yeet this time.
Yeet.
Right foot, let's yeet.
Yeet.
Left foot, let's yeet.
Yeet.
Cha-cha now, y'all.
Yay, Max! I miss you. I don't know about the other guys, but I sure miss you.
Delete.
Oh, no, you can't. No.
Delete.
That ain't happening. No, I will take a chair to each one of you. Delete my best friend. Now we have so much to dive into. By the way, let's get into some the other guys because I have to. Legally, it's contract binding that I have to get into it. By the way, Max is on assignment. He is he got with me earlier today, and he said, "You know what? I still feel really bad that these two schmucks snuck off and had Culvers by themselves." So he said that he's going to go get Culvers, and he's coming over later on tonight, maybe tomorrow, because it's a bit of a long hike from Colorado. And we're going to have Culvers together, and we're going to watch ECW.
Oh, okay.
I need some Chardonnay and some edibles because, like, this is just getting out of hand.
Don't you two get jealous, okay? It's gonna happen. We're gonna eat some Culvers and watch ECW. No ECW review though.
Good luck, you guys. You know what? I hope you guys have the best of time.
You know what?
And enjoy it.
Yeah, right. We will. We will give you a full report next week here on Ramblers. All right, we will. Next up, though, is the person whose catchphrase is and will always be, Baron, please.
$420, $9.99.
There you go. Either one works for me. The one who gets higher than planes, hates AEW more than anyone that I know, and feeds Culver's at J-Bone on a picnic without his two other podcast mates. He is the Baron. Golfers clap, Baron. We got your buzzkill moment later on in the program as well, sir. How you been, man? It's been
Good. I want to ask Zach though, like, what's your go-to Culver's order? Let us know in chat.
Yeah,
because I'm super baked and Culver sounds really fucking good right now.
Culver's
Anyways, I'm good, man. You know, busy with work, doing all that fun stuff, and you know, living the dream.
I know. It's weird, man. I've been like down with whatever this is, down with the sickness. I feel disturbed. I know, but it's been a weird week, man. Like Wednesday, I started feeling bad. Thursday, I took a half day of work and I just took the rest of the day off. Friday, I didn't go in at all, and I had the weekend to recoup. And I'm still like, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm battling it, man. It's
you sound congested a little bit, you know, like it's like sinuses and stuff. I guarantee you, you know. What's really weird, I found out, like, well, I didn't really find out, but like when I have sinuses, like my tooth hurts. And I always think I have like, I've been to dentist so many times asking like I have tooth pain, and it's like from sinuses. I don't have anything else other than like tooth pain and like ear pain, you know, like from sinuses. And it fucking sucks, dude. It's so annoying.
Sinuses are weird, man. They hit you.
Well, I could give you a tip here because I go to a chiropractor. So this is the best fucking thing, and I didn't know they did this. If you go to a chiropractor, anybody, they have a little gun that they actually shoot you right here and right here. They'll hit you like twice right here, and your sinuses literally just drain out.
Oh yeah,
it's my chiropractor did that a couple times, and I mean, I was next day totally fine.
You know, I've got one of those. You ever seen the Navage systems?
Yeah.
So I've got one of those, and oh my god, dude, that's like the best thing since sliced fucking bread. I put like when I was really congested up here in my nose during the sickness or whatever, I really used that Navage and just got all that gunk out of my nose.
So nasty,
dude.
You actually use that?
Oh yeah, man. I use it all the time, dude.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's the greatest invention ever. I swear. It is the best. It's way better than like any normal neti pot because it's battery operated. So yeah. What are you doing, J-Bone?
Amazon, folks. Amazon. Go find it now, baby.
Go find you a Navage and go to your chiropractor and get the little gun shot up your nose, man. There you go.
I have to say something real quick. You brought it up. You said the name, and I have to like ask Dizzy if he's okay with the Super Bowl. If you're feeling okay, I know you're hurt. I know you're sad. If I was your best friend like Max, I would be there for you. But well, I'm trader number 2.
Congrats to the Philadelphia Eagles. I have to say that. Congratulations to the Eagles. J-Bone, I swear to God, you dance like that again, I will smack you with a chair.
I'm just I'm not doing it for your sake, Dizzy, because I got no beef with you. I'm doing it for the sake of my brother Front Row Bill, who lives in Philly, and I didn't care who won or lost, but if I was gonna pick one, I was gonna back up my boy Front Row Bill, and I know he's happy right now. So that's the only reason why.
So congrats to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, you know what?
They definitely came to win, and we definitely came to do something which was fucking lose, apparently. But it's okay. We'll recoup. We got it next season.
It was a fucking slobber knocker. They whooped that fucking ass. And you know what? As a Dallas Cowboys fan, nothing more in my life. I would never want a Eagles Super Bowl win. They're division rivals. I fucking can't stand them. But Chiefs is also at my top of my list that I cannot stand. Regardless of how great of a player Patrick Mahomes is, don't like him at all as a human, but like it's good to watch other teams win. You know what I'm saying? So like it was okay, but
I mean,
our team is happening. We're gonna win next year. Don't worry about
just like, oh, you say that every year. It's like every day.
it. God damn it! Let me just say it.
But let me say this. I wanted the three-peat to happen more than any other Chiefs fan out there, right? Did I think it would happen? No. Did I want it to happen? Absolutely. But I didn't think that we would get a three-peat. I was pushing for us to get one, but I just, for some reason, man, and don't tell our other brother, Baron, you know who I'm talking about, one of the biggest Chiefs.
Yeah, I actually, he has not. I texted him the other day and he has not responded. So I need to actually go do a wellness check because he is the diehard biggest fan of the Chiefs you'll ever know. Like, and I'm like, oh, I hope my boy's okay.
Yeah, and if you watch this, brother, look, man, I'm with you. I love the Chiefs. I really just didn't feel a three-peat this year, man. And it's because of the way they played. Like during the season, yeah, they had a good record, but the way that they played, man, like the way that they were interacting on the field, I just didn't believe in it, man. Not like I usually do. I believe in the Chiefs. I've always believed in the Chiefs, and I'm not saying this to say that, oh, I'm done with the Chiefs. I'm not done with the Chiefs. Chiefs are my team. That's my team, right? But I just didn't feel the three-peat, you know. But congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. I did reach out to Ant and congratulated him. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I did reach out to Oni. Oni was actually talking trash to me during the Super Bowl, and I threatened him. I threatened him with Max, and I'd send Max with him to his door with a chair if he didn't shut up.
Hey man, it's all fun. Football's great. I'm glad it's over for now. Yeah.
I'm glad it's over too.
I'm hoping good for next year.
And you know, I'm hoping that we can learn, we can recoup, and
bring on the UFL.
Yeah, oh dude, I'm ready for the UFL, man. I am so pumped for the UFL.
Isn't it going to be like their first year?
No.
Or is this the second year?
This is the second year, I think, is the UFL. Okay. And by the way, the chefs, great googly moogly.
Eat a Snickers, you'll feel better, bro.
Exactly. Boy, we need to talk some wrestling news. But before we do that, man, I got to introduce this guy over here.
Oh, fuck, we went off the rails.
Yeah, we did, man. It's our producer, the guy that has more technical wizardry in his back pocket than I could ever muster. And because without his beautiful and wonderful missus, the lovely Mrs. J-Bone, who gifts us his time. And by the way, Miss J-Bone, I know that chair came in the mail for you. You know what to do with it. All right. You know what to do. It's for Max and I. Just know that. Take care of that for us, please. Ladies and gentlemen, golfers, clap for J-Bone. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah. Lots of news in the last 24 hours, but guys, we got some breaking news over the course of the last hour.
Well, it's not even that. I guess, it would have been it's close to an hour. Let's give it up, man, for Ricky freaking Starks. We didn't know where this guy was going to land, but he just made his NXT debut tonight in a kind of a shocking fashion, too. Came out to the crowd with a microphone, and it's time for a revolution, man, and I'm excited for Ricky. Did you guys see the debut of Ricky on NXT?
Did. Stoked.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah. Great, man. You guys know my opinion. Anytime anybody escapes out of the other world, it's good, beneficial.
Yeah.
I think though I don't want it to be oversaturated on both, NXT and the main roster with that. However, I think Ricky Starks is phenomenal. He reminds me of like a little Not as great as The Rock, don't get me wrong, but like he reminds me of kind of like a Rock character on the mic. He's great. He's phenomenal. He's gonna NXT is a top 3 promotion. Like I'm gonna just classify as a different promotion. I think it's a top 3. You know, you got like your Raw, SmackDown, and I'm gonna separate those two as promotions, just because they are different shows.
Yeah.
We all know they're under one umbrella, but when it comes to shows, like NXT is killing it, and Shawn Michaels and whoever's recruiting over there is doing phenomenal because they have a really fucking good cast over there.
They really do. I mean, it's always been top notch with NXT, even when Triple H was head of it. And I'm excited to see where NXT's going, man.
Yeah, but I think it's better now because like there for a while, NXT was getting like massive stars. You know what I'm saying? Like Adam Cole. Adam Cole was a big time. He was over there for a while.
Yeah.
Shinsuke, he was big name. Bobby Roode, you know, like those are big names. But they're grabbing, you know, not as big names like a Ricky Stark, and they're making them into stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is what NXT is doing. It needs to be doing, and it needs to develop these future stars, these future superstars to go off onto the SmackDown or the Raw brand, and that's exactly what they're doing with these guys and building them up. And it was really cool because I don't think anybody was expecting Ricky Starks to come out on NXT tonight. I certainly wasn't. I knew that, and we've got Ricky Starks part of our news tonight, but I don't think anybody really knew that Ricky was going to make his debut tonight on NXT. So
yeah, not tonight. I mean, once we got confirmation of like he was no longer contracted, I think it was a pretty safe bet that he was heading somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I wasn't expecting NXT. I was actually thinking like main roster. But I think NXT is just as good.
Well, he actually won the Defy Championship belt not too long ago too. So there is that, you know. J-Bone, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's no matter where he's gone, he's done great. I think the first place he showed up that kind of put a eyes on him was the NWA. Excuse me, when Billy started getting it back in the public eye, and then things happened from there. He went to AEW. He's done some great things in AEW, but he's been off TV, and the fans have missed him. He's
no matter what,
he's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean he's made a really big name for himself in AEW, and now on the independent circuit as he was working the independents after outside of AEW, and now he's going to make a bigger name in NXT. I'm excited to see where Ricky, and it's good to see him back on TV, honestly. And I know that we were talking about Jey Uso last week. He was a big conversation piece as to who he was going to challenge for the title at WrestleMania. Was he going after Gunther? Was he going after Cody Rhodes? Well, guys, we had so many different opinions on who Jey Uso would choose at WrestleMania, even though we didn't think he would even be in the main event at Mania. We weren't sure. So he went to SmackDown, confronted Cody, said he was going to go back to Raw, and he pretty much did, and chose Gunther after a brutal beatdown from Gunther, which was fantastic to see. Finally, our first main event match that we know of for WrestleMania, Jey versus Gunther. Are we excited for this? I'm stoked for it, J-Bone.
Hell yeah, man. It's time, and it's not that it could have been. I touched on this last week. It could have been Rollins. It could have been Roman. It could have been Punk. There's so many names that were in the Royal Rumble that if you put that name in the same sentence, fans would have been like, "Yep." It made sense. I think a good chunk of fans would have went along with any of those top names. But Jey Uso kind of, I mean, he's been, I think he's been floating around the top. He's been keeping, you know, he's got the nickname main event, and he's stayed in the main event over the last several months. So, but I don't think he was in the top running on most people's lips. So, just the fact that he's done this now, I think it's tremendous. I think it's tremendous.
Yeah.
We know what our main event of WrestleMania is going to be now. Well, for one of the nights, of course, there's 2 nights, and you can say either one is going to be the headliner. Whatever, night 1, night 2, it don't really matter to me. I'm excited for it. Jay's worked hard. Let's get him on top, man.
All right, no yeets. Let's hear from you, man. Did you see Jey Uso going after Gunther at Mania?
Great, phenomenal. I think I said it on last week's show that if he was going for a title, it was going to be Gunther's title. However, I still stand by my factor that either he's not headlining, something's going to happen, or he's not facing Gunther. I don't see that happening. However, I think for Jay's kind of like arc, this would be a good match and a good story. Defeat Gunther, the most badass guy on the roster. So I think that would be, I think that would be really good for Jay, and they'll, push him very far with that.
Yeah. I mean, they have until April to build this all up.
Yeah, they do. And that's why I'm saying there's a lot still to play. I think the biggest thing here is, though, is like who's facing Cody. Jay and Gunther is going to be night 1. There's no.
Yeah.
That's just going to be how it is.
That's a no-brainer. Yeah. I've figured that Jay and Gunther, if anything, would be night 1 of Mania.
Yeah,
it might be night 2 though.
I don't know. Why would you put night 1 as the WWE Championship over Gunther? I just don't see that at night 2.
Right now, I'll say right now, yes, it fits in night 1, but we've got 10 weeks to go.
We do.
And Gunther has said he's going to make this next 10 weeks absolute hell for Jey Uso.
And I believe it.
So let's see week by week where we get things. I mean, because right now we don't know the other night. We just don't know. We could speculate all we want. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
So right now we only have one main event. So I think it deservedly should be at night 2, just for the sake of, with the Royal Rumble. That's the thing. That's always been the thing with the Royal Rumble. It headlines WrestleMania. So let's see how the build goes.
Yeah, no, that's totally true. And I it's always been night 2 with the Rumble winner. There's got to be something happening. like I love Jay. I think it's great what he's doing. And he's a star. Don't get me wrong. It's just when you're in a corporate world, money is the number one factor in everything.
Like, hey,
does Jay pull money in? Absolutely, 100%. That crowd is behind him. But when it comes to WWE and things along those lines, there's bigger players.
You think he needs a little extra? The story and the match needs a little extra kick.
I think it needs a big kick now that he's facing Gunther. I think that would be a phenomenal match. I think if we're pushing Jay to the limit and pushing him to the stars, Cody Rhodes would have been his top choice. Cody Rhodes will headline night 2. There's no way around that. He's the top star there. He's the biggest name on.
It could be Cena. It could be Cena.
Yeah, this is why we love wrestling, because we don't know. We're obviously speculating, and there's so many different scenarios that could happen with this, and that's why we love this shit. So this is why we watch it. And it's fun. I, however, believe that Jey Uso will be like night one. But him and Gunther will make a lot of sense because Gunther is going to beat the shit out of him. He's going to play that Daniel Bryan undercard baby face, get his shit beat every week, and prevail at Mania. That's going to be a great story. So I'm invested in that.
I'm really invested in the storylines that we've got going on so far on both Raw and on SmackDown, deleted all up to WrestleMania, even up to the Elimination Chamber, man. I'm just stoked for this storytelling. And you just said it the best, Baron. We love wrestling. We love this because, this is one of our passions. We hate it though when there are releases, and we have to talk about it. The WWE roster, guys, just got a little bit smaller. A wave of releases hit the company on February, in February, with several notable names now out of the company, including the Authors of Pain, Paul Ellering, Cedric Alexander, Sonya Deville, and Blair Davenport. Now, Fightful Select confirmed the details, reporting that the calls were made right as SmackDown went live. Interestingly, internal rosters weren't updated immediately after the cut, suggesting more changes could be coming in the next few days. Some talent were reportedly caught off guard, and I think Blair Davenport was probably the most shocking, as she never really got her moment to shine. Now, Giovanni Vinci, another one that was cut, broke his silence after being released, saying, quote, "Thank you for everything, WWE. Thank you to the universe and everyone that I had the pleasure of working with." Isla Dawn also confirmed her release by going to social media and posting, quote, "Here for a good time, not a long time. See you in 90, end quote. Later, after these releases were confirmed, WWE made another cut, and that was the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, which sucks because I've always loved the Good Brothers, but cuts are normal and they're made to make more room for other superstars that they can use. But how are you, J-Bon, how are you feeling with these cuts, man?
Some of them make sense. Some of them really don't. Because I feel like the whole thing with Cross, I feel like his group's been slowly working its way up. But the thing is, he's been on TV and the rest of his group hasn't been on TV. So that was a sign right there, unfortunately. Yep. I felt like bringing AOP back, I felt like that was a group that could really be reckoned with. But they really hadn't put a foothold on anything significant, it's just, I don't know. But as long as Cross is still there, I still love, Killer Cross. He's got something's big's gonna happen for him. I don't know what, but it's got to happen. I feel like he's too big of a presence. Good brothers. That just sucks, man. They're so good. I mean, I'll tell you what's controversial. I don't know if you guys heard or not. Carl Anderson's injured right now.
Oh, I did not know that.
So that right there was like, ooh, that does put a sting on that one. Mm-hmm. Because that's not typical of how WWE does things. Now, to what degree, I don't know how bad he's hurt. I don't know what the injury was. I have no idea. But that's all I heard is that, he's still hurt. Blah, 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 blah. Shouldn't have been let go. I don't know. I would have loved to see one last run with him and, the Good Brothers and AJ. AJ just popped back up on our screens this week. Looks like $1 million. Friggin' $2 million. Looks like $1 million. What's the other one that didn't make sense to me? Oh, Sonya Deville. These the three late now. Of course, like I said, it's the name that doesn't roll off the tongue. I still can't remember it off the top of my head. The fusion.
I have no idea. I could hear it 100 times and still not be able to fucking say it right.
The bad fusion bitches or something, whatever it is.
Or something like that.
Yeah. and Sonya Deville was a big part of that and was just on TV recently with them. So that one I don't get at all.
Yeah.
I really don't. There has to have been more of a behind the scenes thing with that one that we just don't know about. And that's always going to be the case. We're not always going to know every bit of the story, why these happen. But that's also the thing with that particular one is she wasn't let go. They're just not renewing her contract. So that's a big difference there. So, but either way, it still sucks. But yeah, like Barry Monkey here in the chat says, I think a few of these are going to end up in NXT
or TNA.
Or no, I meant TNA. My bad.
Yeah.
We were talking about NXT so much that was like stuck in the brain. But I meant TNA. Yes.
Well, you know what, man? I mean, these guys are up for anything, and John Bradshaw Layfield really isn't mincing any words when it comes to the latest wave of releases from WWE. The Hall of Famer, of course, he's seen plenty of talent cuts over the years, and he made it clear that while losing a job is tough, it's the best time in wrestling history to bounce back. He discussed in recent WWE releases, while he sympathized with the talent, he also sent a strong message about making the most of a situation. He said, and I quote, "You can do one of two things when you get released. You can sit around and hope that Tony Khan picks you up, or that you get picked by a different group, or you go out there and make a name for yourself." I've seen a number of, I've never seen an opportunity better in wrestling since I've been in it for 30 plus years. I've been a fan my entire life, 58 years, and I've never seen an opportunity better for guys going out and making a name for themselves, end quote. JBL says the Good Brothers are good guys. They'll be okay. And he's right. There are a ton of places for these guys to go. And right now, Baron, I don't know if AEW is the place to land.
No. No. I mean, so to go back on the releases though, like here's my thing when these happen. Like obviously we never want anybody to be released. We love them all unless other things happen. But we never like to see people be released.
No.
However, I think there is an alternative motive with these releases. I think the majority, if not all, will show up on TNA with the partnership they have, but they can't be contractually, negotiated with WWE.
Right.
So I think it's a safe bet. We're going to see quite a few faces, if not all, over there. However, when it comes to are you sad about the releases? Absolutely. Did you expect these releases? Absolutely. Crowd reaction is number one when it comes to these releases, and when it comes to each and every person that has been mentioned, not a single chirp in the crowd. That is blatantly obvious if you've ever watched anything.
That's a good point. That's a damn good point there.
Anything wrestling related, they're on the lower totem. I think Deville out of the group didn't make as much sense because I feel like they kind of pushed them a little bit. AOP, I don't understand how they made it this long to begin with. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Cross was the name in that group, and I think he doesn't need anybody. He doesn't need bodyguards or a mouthpiece. He's doing his thing, and he will be in the next few months a star in the company. So that'll be fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Good brothers, bad brothers, what I call them. So unpopular opinion, but I don't get the gist. If they're connected with AJ Styles and the heel persona, absolutely would love them, but they're not currently. So anytime releases happen, it sucks.
Yeah.
But these actually made a lot of sense to me.
And that's why we have the Baron on this show, is because he has an unpopular opinion, and it's time for Baron's buzzkill moment. And you know that Max believes, J-Bone believes, and I believe in Joe Hendry, okay? But there is one person here who does not believe necessarily in Joe Hendry, And we know now, Baron, that Joe Hendry defeated Nick Nemeth to win the TNA World Championship title for the first time. And since then, he has been one of the most talked about wrestlers in the industry. While he's a star in TNA right now, many fans wonder if he will go to WWE in the future. And now he's addressed the same. While speaking to Shaq Wrestling, Joe Hendry was asked if WWE would be his next destination once his TNA contract ends. He responded that his main goal is to be the TNA World Champion, represent the company, and elevate both the championship and TNA itself. His full focus remains in TNA wrestling and nothing else at the moment. Despite speculation about his future, Fightful Select reported that Joe Hendry remains a major focus for the company in 2025. His contract is believed to run through late 2025, ensuring he will continue to play a significant role in TNA's plans moving forward. Hendry made his appearance at the Rumble and does not rule out defending the TNA World Championship at WrestleMania 41. So, Baron, your thoughts on Hendry possibly joining WWE and defending his TNA World Championship title at Mania?
Okay. Wow, thank you. Much love.
Yeah, look
out there.
He's got a lot. He's got a fan.
Hey, you know, at least I got one fan out there in the world. I appreciate you, Amanda. That's wonderful. So the question is, do I see Hendry in WWE, like, you know, like with the title or facing off on WWE with the TNA title or anything along those lines? Here's my clear-cut answer. He needs to stay on TNA, help elevate TNA to where they should be. Because I feel like if he's ever on a WWE promotion, he's going to get lost in the sauce. Simple as that. I think what he's doing currently is great for the internet darlings, but I don't think it will connect with the main roster for a long period of time. Of course, for a cheap pop and all that, fantastic. But I think he's best suited in TNA and being their champion, like 100%. I don't see anybody else on that roster that could elevate that show more than him.
Yeah.
So I would love for him to stay there and help that show.
I think that's his goal. And I think I definitely agree. I think that's what he needs to do. I think, could he at the end, like at an end point of his career in TNA, if he drops a title, when he drops a title, will he go to the main roster? Yeah, I think he will go to WWE at some point. But right now, J-Bone, he's not done with TNA. He's got a whole mess of plans for TNA, and he's getting ready to defend that title too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a match this week with Jake something. Now it's interesting how the timing is, because we found out a couple weeks ago that Jake something he's either hurt or injured and he's taken some time off. So the fact that this happened on TV last week, that the challenge went down, I think that had some people's heads scratching. But we got to remember that we had the live show for TNA, and then we get some tapings. So yeah, it all happened during the taping. So
yeah, and it takes time. First, he's got to build he's got to help build that TNA title. So it's going to take some time. Do I see it happening? Oh, absolutely. I think Hendry's going to be on the main roster before we know it. But for now, he's doing good on TNA, and he's doing good as a TNA champ, and I'm happy to see him as a champion. So speaking of WrestleMania 41, and speaking of two bitter rivals, the biggest rivals that we here on the show can even think of is El Generico and Kevin Steen. All right. And now they're known as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and this friendship that they've had is long dead. And now it looks like their war could be heading straight for WrestleMania 41.
Yeah.
Following Owens' brutal attack on Zayn after his loss to CM Punk on Raw, The tension between the two has reached a breaking point. Now the speculation has surfaced that indicates that the company is setting the stage for a massive showdown on one of the biggest nights of the year, and that is WrestleMania. While discussing Owens' intense promo on Wrestling Observer Radio, Uncle Dave speculated that the longtime rivals will settle things at Mania 41. Honestly, I agree with him. He says, quote, I am presuming they will do that match at Mania, suggesting that this company is gearing up for yet another chapter in the storied history. This has been going on since Steen and El Generico was a thing. And for fans that know the history between these two, this could dive deeper into the rivalry for the fans and make WrestleMania more exciting for those that are, just up on the latest with KO and Zayn. I mean, Baron, we've seen these two as El Generico and as Steen, and this is just fun for us, man.
Yeah. I mean, every time they face off, the crowd chants fight forever. So let's continue the fight forever.
Yeah.
The unpopular opinion on this, since I am classified as that guy on this show, I just do it for shits and gigs. I feel bad in a sense that we haven't figured out what we wanted to do with both of them. From what Kevin Owens did with Cody Rhodes this past few months was fucking phenomenal.
It was gold.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal. So I feel, like it's great. And I love Sami Zayn. Love him. Fantastic. But I always feel like when they don't know what to do with either one, they always put those two together. We're going to get a great match. We're going to get a fucking hell of a match. And it's going to be a great story. Don't get me wrong. But I always like to see, I think Kevin Owens always thrives in different environments than Sami Zayn. You know what I'm saying? Will I enjoy this? 100%. I think it's going to be great. But I feel like we're always missing the mark on those two when it comes to WrestleMania time. And the other time is phenomenal. But WrestleMania, we always got to put those two back together. They're going to have a hell of a match. It's going to be fun. We're going to enjoy it as fans. But I feel like we have to go a different direction with those two, because what those two have done over the past couple of years have been, Sami Zayn with the Bloodline, Kevin Owens just recently with Cody Rhodes. It's all been really, really good shit. So,
and honestly, for WWE to carry over this long time feud between KO and Zayn, even though it was sad to see KO and Cody Rhodes kind of just call it whatever, because since they really didn't, I don't think they really finished that story, J-Bone. But with the story that they have with KO and with Sami Zayn, I really think that this has a lot of potential at WrestleMania 41.
It does, and I think we're still going to, just because there is something so special about this back and forth. I'll just say love affair for these, they love to hate each other. I still think we're going to get down the road somewhere where both are going to be top champs, and they're going to have that moment in the ring together, like celebrating. And they kind of already had that with the tag team belts, but I think they're destined for bigger championships. I'll say again for KO, because he's been on top, but Sami Zayn, his work ethic and everything else proves the same, and that he deserves it. And I think they're both destined to hold big championships again. Yeah. And it's a matter of timing,
And Mir said that he saw them wrestle at WrestleMania 37.
Yeah.
And that just shows you the power that this story has, and the company knows it. They know it. And the way that Kevin Owens can tell a story, and the way that Sami Zayn, and I've never really been over on Sami, but the way that Sami can just tie himself into that storyline is just fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
love him or hate him, if you're over on him or not over on him, you one thing is undeniable, and that is Sammy's mic work is impeccable. Impeccable.
It is. And it's just, if you look at everything that Sammy's done, it's I kind of compare it, just because I am the TNA guy. I'll compare it to like someone like Eric Young. That's done literally everything from being on top to being the goof scapegoat. You know, when Sami Zayn had his Mania match with Johnny Knoxville, which I actually loved. I laughed my ass off for that one. There were some goofy moments, and I don't think everybody. I don't think you can't just put anybody in that spot, and it took someone like Sami Zayn, who is that. I don't know what the term is. Fluid. I don't know. That sounds like the wrong term, but like you can put them in anything. You can put them in some like ultra violent thing with Kevin Owens. You can put him in something goofy. You can put him in something like emotionally, interjected, like with the what the hell is with the bloodline, where he was trying to, get up in the ranks and, be, just get approved by everyone. We've seen him do everything. And I think he's destined for bigger things someday, but right now this is what makes sense. And I think we're gonna, is this gonna be the last time? I don't know, but this feels pretty big. It's just because of it was tied to so many big things around it, Cody, the championship. It also still, because of the references, still had ties to the bloodline, where KO was like, you did this and you did that and you helped them and you're still part of this and shame on you for that. And it's just taking little pieces from the past and still pulling it all together in this massive situation. So
I need to circle back on Ricky Starks, because we have some breaking news. Ricky Starks, of course, appeared tonight on NXT, and the crowd instantly recognized him and chanted his name. And WWE never really officially acknowledged it, but according to Fightful Select, it was not an accident. The reaction was expected, but there's still no word on why WWE is keeping quiet on his name. So his arrival comes just after days. Reports of AEW releases started making the rounds. Sources reveal that Starks had been on the list of expected cuts for a while, and no one, once it became available, WWE really wasted no time in bringing him in. So why did Starks show up on NXT instead of Raw or SmackDown? Well, according to sources, creative plans for WrestleMania are mostly locked in, making it harder to fit him into a major storyline right now. On the other hand, NXT offers more flexibility to work him into the mix immediately. Now, word of Starks being at the Performance Center spread just 30 minutes before the show started, proving that this deal came together, and it came together fast. So that is really exciting news for Ricky Starks. I just had to throw that in there real quick because
that's great.
That's breaking news, and we're excited and looking forward to what Ricky Starks can put on NXT TV. Let's talk Seth Rollins real quick. And he's really not holding back when it comes to how he views WWE and AEW talent. In a recent interview with SiriusXM Sports, Rollins was asked to imagine a blockbuster trade between WWE and AEW, similar to the shocking deal from the NBA that sent Luka Doncic, and I hope I pronounced his name right.
Good enough.
Doncic.
Mac's not here.
Yeah, Max isn't here. They traded him to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. So here's what Seth said, and I quote, "You'll make some headlines with this one. I don't think there is anybody in AEW on that level. You're probably looking at it, if you're looking at it at a LeBron, that's like a John Cena level guy. I'd be looking at John Cena for an MJF, maybe. That'd be the deal. Luca would be the MJF. That's the level. That's how crazy it is, end quote. Now, for Seth to give that kind of comparison, Cena for MJF, Baron, that says something, man. Come on now. It means MJF is that, he's that damn good. He's that popular. He's that over that he could possibly come to the roster of Raw or SmackDown.
Well, unfortunately, that's not what he was meaning. So when we're talking Luka and LeBron James, you can't make a comparison in basketball between the two. There's only a couple people. You know, LeBron is top five overall, probably basketball player of all time. There's just no way around it. You know, so Luka is he's phenomenal, great basketball player. He's not even in the probably top 50 comparison of all time. I don't care what any basketball fan says. So the comparison he was trying to make really was, you know, taking two companies and like taking the biggest mega star of all time, which would be like a John Cena, and taking AEW's mega star of all time, which is clearly MJF, because I don't think anybody else is on his level, and trading those. That's how bad that trade would be. You know what I'm saying? So meaning like there's no comparison between the two. Saying like if you took AEW's top star, which MJF, and you traded him with John Cena, you know, like I think that's a comparison he was trying to make. Not saying that MJF is anywhere closer to the level. He was just kind of trying to point out the fact of like AEW has no stars. And that's basically what he was saying in that sense, because that's in the basketball terms, that's like a LeBron, Luka trade. There's no comparison. LeBron is LeBron and Luka's Luka. And I think that's kind of the comparison he was trying to make there. He's basically slandering AEW.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's always going to slander AEW, but see, I didn't take it as that, man. I don't know. J-Bone, did you take that as a slam to AEW? Did you take it as a slam to MJF, or what are your thoughts on that, man?
Could be just what's the saying? A game recognizes game. Yeah.
I mean, I look, is MJF on the level of John Cena? Absolutely not. Could he be one day? Possibly. He is. Look, whether you like it or not, MJF is the reason people come to the shows, and he knows it. The company knows it. The fans know it. We know it. MJF is the reason that people tune in to watch AEW television, because they want to see what he's going to say. John Cena was that guy at one point where everybody tuned in to Raw to see what John Cena was going to say. And they wanted to see what John Cena was going to say during his feud with The Rock, and during his feud with everyone else that he's had a feud with, Brock Lesnar. I mean, the list goes on and on where John Cena's had feuds with. MJF is that person that AEW turns to, fans that turn to AEW to watch MJF. If MJF isn't on TV, people aren't tuning in. People aren't talking about AEW, and that's why he's with that company, and that's why that company needs MJF right now, is because he is the one that is causing a ruckus. He's the one that's on social media everywhere, and he is making a name for himself, and he's the only one that's given AEW any kind of credibility right now.
Yeah, and just to go back to what you're kind of saying right now, though, but just think about it for real quick, though. The comparison he was trying to make to John Cena and MJF, like we basically just gave the answer away right there with what you just said. If you look at MJF and what he's bringing into AEW, and we look at John Cena, what he has and what he actually currently just did, I don't care what anybody says. That Royal Rumble, this past one, was one of the biggest Royal Rumbles ever, viewership wise. So like, you know, like that's the comparison he was trying to make, like in that sense.
Yeah.
But no knock on MJF. I think I think we're all well aware of my opinion on things. And I think if MJF was on a different side, we would have a totally different story here.
Well, and that turns to the question of the day, because speaking of hot topics, Drew McIntyre is becoming a very hot topic lately, especially after walking out of the Royal Rumble. His disappointment with WrestleMania 41 plans only fueled more speculation, receiving criticism from fans, and WWE is now reportedly rethinking McIntyre's opponent for WrestleMania 41, and they may adjust their plans to better meet fan expectations. Now, according to a report by Chris Featherstone, WWE officials are having internal discussions about changing Drew's WrestleMania 41's opponent. Sources within the company noted that the online backlash surrounding McIntyre's rumored matches led to a reevaluation of current plans. Previous reports indicated that WWE originally planned for Drew to face Damian Priest at WrestleMania 41, a decision that reportedly frustrated McIntyre. However, following fan backlash, WWE is now considering a change. So that is our question of the day. Please sound off in the chat who you think Drew McIntyre is going to face at WrestleMania. And we're going to start things off with J-Bone. J-Bone, who do you think McIntyre is going to face at Mania, man?
That's a good question. I mean, that's the great thing about the Rumble. We get to see the start of a great story. Who's going to headline Mania? We got that with Jey Uso, and then the whole story unfolds. What what brand is he going to pick to, pick a champ from, whatever, but we also get stuff in the form of eliminations. Someone gets eliminated from another said person, and that right there can start a great feud. And it doesn't always happen immediately. Sometimes it takes a while. I think a lot of people assumed, including myself, that it was going to be Priest. And I think it still could be Priest. You just got to do it right, because aren't they both on SmackDown?
No, Priest is. I thought Priest was on Raw.
No, he went. No, he just debuted on SmackDown.
SmackDown. Okay, so yeah.
Well, it depends who you ask. Now, if you ask, R-Truth, he's on fucking Raw. He's on Raw.
Maybe that's where I got my story.
I thought the same thing when we were talking about it. I'm like, fuck. I thought about R-Truth, and he's like, no, you're on Raw, man.
Yeah. Little Jimmy.
Freaking Truth, man. I love him. You can't get mad at the guy because he comes up with all sorts of clout and stuff. But yeah, if you're gonna pick someone else, I like this. What Mayor says in the chat. This is why I love our audience, because they're very intelligent. LA Knight, not a bad pick. You got two very strong, charismatic people. I think that could work.
Then you also have this one, which is a really good, would be really good. Drew versus Joe Hendry for the Battle of Scotland. Who? Oh my God! I mean, maybe if when Joe Hendry gets on the main roster of wherever he's going, that would be an ideal match for maybe Drew and Joe to have down the line. I don't think currently. No, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Specifically, since we just said that Joe Hendry is going to stay on TNA for the time being, since he's the championship. But that's really, I like that though. I like where you're going with that, Ed. Baron, who do you think, man? I mean, that's a big question. It's a big question mark about Drew, and we know that Drew has been frustrated lately. So who do you think WWE would at least give him a match with to make him happy, to appease Drew McIntyre?
I think we're seeing a slow build already. I think it's got to be LA Knight. I kind of determined that a little bit ago, like just this past week, that I think that's the push they're going for is, McIntyre and LA Knight, which will be phenomenal. I think that's going to be good. And I'm all for that.
Don't they have or no, didn't they just have a qualifying match for?
They did, and LA Knight did not get in, right? Drew McIntyre beat him.
Okay.
I don't quote me on that. My memory's faded quite often. Viewers,
you mean foggy?
Very foggy.
Foggy.
A lot of
but
smoke.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And I LA Knight cut a promo, and what happened at Rumble, I think it was a pretty good snippet of what is to come. I think those two would have a really good Mania match. When it comes to Joe Hendry, McIntyre will probably smack him back into TNA real fast. But I think LA Knight, those two are top wrestlers. What else are they going to do? So let's put those two together. I think that'd be a good match, good mic work, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that anything right now, though, honestly, is up in the air for Drew. Clearly they got to make this guy happy because, yes, it's his current storyline that he is just not happy with anything that the WWE is doing right now. And he's on SmackDown. He just left Raw, and Adam Pearce throwing shade at Drew McIntyre not too long ago on social media, which is, still building the storyline for Drew. I don't know at this point in juncture. I just don't know. I mean, I would think LA Knight would be a good choice, seeing as how really there's nobody else for LA Knight to go after.
Can I throw out another name for McIntyre?
Yeah, absolutely.
When I was trying to think of who else was in the qualifying match, and it just wasn't hitting me. But I think if you want to keep another member of the Usos in the spotlight, I think Jimmy would be a good one.
Jimmy, yeah.
I feel like, I hate to use this phrase. I think it's only fair, honestly. I mean, Jay is special. He's doing he came up with the yeet. He's got his own charisma, but Jimmy's special too. He maybe doesn't have yeet, or he's got no yeet or whatever, but, and not that he necessarily needs something like that. It certainly helps. You get a catchphrase, you get something, that sticks with you in a positive way. But I think Jimmy is certainly someone you could still put in that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now, anything is
no yeet.
And can I just quick share with something with you guys? I just found online this picture it just makes me more excited for the debut.
I love it, man. It's so good,
isn't that?
That is that is just so good, man. I love that. I'm happy.
The crowd is happy, other than the two that he's right in front of. They're like, "What the fuck's going on?"
The woman right there does not look impressed.
Like,
Either that, or she's like, I don't even get that kind of look from him. I don't know what's going on with him and Ricky, but damn.
So why are you hiding your face, sir?
Right.
Jimmy, Jimmy would be a really good case. I feel like he's got some. We're missing a mark here with WrestleMania. We're missing a little bit. We had a solo return. Just what was that, Friday?
Mm-hmm.
When he attacked Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
He only came out with Tama, right? Or did he come out with Tama? Or
No, he came out by himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Memory fog.
Yeah.
So like I feel there's so much going on, and I read a comment on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, about how Triple H's booking has tanked because of Rumble or whatever the case may be. I've read multiple comments and posts about this, about releases and everything else. There's so much going on with WWE right now that it's unpredictable, and that's what we as fans have been asking for the last 15 years or so. So that's the fun part of it all. But I feel like Jimmy's got a bigger story ahead of him. We got Solo returning. I don't care what anybody says. The Rock's returning. He's gonna have a part in Mania. That's bar none. And I think Jimmy's gonna also fall suit on that, whether it comes before Mania or after or during Mania. I feel like Jimmy has got to have some kind of jealousy towards his brother is what I'm getting at. So I think he's going to have a large story to play part of very soon. So I think that's where he kind of sits in, because really there's nothing else for him right now.
So we're going to see Jimmy at some point. We're going to see Jimmy and Jay again.
I think so. I think you have to redeem yourself after the last match they had together, because it was awful and everybody noticed that. And you have to kind of end that beef. And there's no other story that I could see Jimmy being introduced to for Mania other than rolling with like a Solo or The Rock or something along those lines.
Okay. Well, sound off in the chat. Who do you think the WWE will pair with McIntyre at WrestleMania 41? We move on to some AEW news, and we got to talk about viewership numbers. We've talked about viewership numbers with this company the past few shows, and we've always seen a decrease.
Have we?
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've ever touched on that before.
We have, J-Bone. We have. But this is some good news. Here's some good news.
Oh, okay.
The February 8th, 2025 episode of AEW Collision showed AEW's dedication to deliver exciting programming. The show featured a major storyline moment, including holograms return and segments including the one that we will not name and Harley Cameron, which I've become a big fan of Harley. I didn't know she could. She was a what you call it, the talkie person with your throat, the
tranquilist.
The trans.
I can't say. I can't say
like Jeff.
Jeff Dunham.
Like Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
Tranquil. No.
If you think about the word, you will never pronounce it right. You just have to go for it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Well, see, I thought about it and I'm fucked up.
Ventriloquism.
That's it.
Close enough.
We were stuck on the T anyway.
I was mixing my syllables. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Babbles. But the latest ratings have created some discussions among fan and analysts, and according to WrestleNomics, AEW drew an average 387,000 viewers on TNT with a rating of 0.10 in the key 1849 demographic. This reflects an increase from last week's 197,000 viewers, a 0.06 rating. However, these figures only represent TNT's broadcast numbers and do not include max streaming viewership, which has increasingly factored into AEW's total audience. Now, guys, talk about this all the time, the decline of AEW ratings. And though WWE is sometimes in the same boat, we saw the decline in ratings with Saturday night's main event. We do like to see the increase in ratings because cord cutting is affecting everyone at a broadcast level. And I'm a cord cutter. I think J-Bone's a cord cutter too. You're not? Okay, well, it's coming anyway.
Someday.
But because of the rise of the price on cable TV or satellite TV, people just are not watching cable as religiously as they did once, man. But it's good to see that AEW is seeing some raising the rates. We're seeing higher viewers this week, and from 197,000 to 387,000, dude, that's good, man. That's really good.
It is. It's a bounce back. It's we don't want to see this brand fail. We just want to see them succeed. As much as we knock them for different booking things, no, we want to see the brand win.
We don't, and we just want to make that very, very clear. As much as we talk about AEW's decisions as far as booking goes, or as far as how they present themselves on TV, we don't want to see them fail. We want to see every promotion do as well as it can. It's just when you have one person who's doing everything and not utilizing the guys that he hired to help him with this promotion. And I know we all know who I'm talking about. Tony Khan needs to take a back seat, man. He needs to chill. He needs to stay on his father's yacht and stay in fucking New Orleans and let the guys in AEW run AEW. I guarantee you it'll be a lot better off without Tony Khan for like a month. It'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I gotta be the one that says this. Like, we don't want anybody to fail whatsoever. To kind of go back on the topic, though, I don't think cutting the cord is the great way to go right now. I think long-term wise, you want to keep your cable services. I think the subscriptions are actually out of control right now, and everybody's jumping up the prices. Because take it for someone that has every single subscription out there. I'm paying almost double than what I would with regular cable and like a Dish Network thing.
Yeah.
That is the reason you have to do that is because everything else is on a separate app, and that's the problem. Like with AEW, I had to go to Max to watch that when I could watch all those things on regular cable. And however, I don't believe this is hurting their ratings whatsoever. I think that's hurting WWE's ratings, however, and it's going to hurt long term because I don't think a lot of people are going to subscribe to the Netflix or watch it on there, And I think it goes the same with AEW when it comes to Max. Sure, they might see a little increase because a lot of people, if not everybody that has Hulu, has Max. It might hurt them a little bit. I think stick with their cable, folks. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And of course, we want AEW to succeed. We just need some stories, and we might get there because we have the talent. We all know we have the talent. We just need some stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move on because we have a big story to cover with AEW, and this is a little wordy, so stick with me on this, but this does involve Tony Khan, and there's been a lot of talk about AEW Grand Slam Australia. It's set to debut next week, and there is a lot of excitement for the show. However, while it was previously stated that the event would be televised show and not a pay-per-view, a recent social media post referred to it as a pay-per-view. Unsurprisingly, this has led fans to call out AEW for the same. AEW's official Twitter account took the social media platform and hyped up the Grand Slam Australia by pointing out that they were just 7 days away from the event. However, the original tweet mentioned that the show was going to be a pay-per-view, saying, quote, "We are just 7 days away from AEW Grand Slam Australia on pay-per-view at the Brisbane Entertainment Center," end quote. While AEW edited the tweet and removed any mention of it being a pay-per-view, fans on Twitter immediately called out the company for editing the tweet by bringing up what they did. One fan posted an image of the original tweet saying, quote, "Take two is it," end quote. Another fan pointed out that they could see the edits, and they said, quote, "We see those edits," end quote. Yet another fan called out AEW for forgetting to edit the scheduled tweet, saying, quote, "When you forget to go in and edit the scheduled tweet," end quote. The insults didn't stop there. Another fan pointed out that they couldn't wait to see the pay-per-view, saying, quote, "I can't wait to see the pay-per-view." In quote, a fan reacted by pointing out that AEW had previously stated the event was never supposed to be a pay-per-view. They also criticized Tony Khan, calling him a liar and one of the worst in the business, saying, quote, LMAO, they said this was never supposed to be a pay-per-view. Tony is such a lying sack of shit, one of the worst to ever do it, end quote. Another fan noticed the original tweet was scheduled for 5 p.m. weeks ago and said the event was a pay-per-view. So they believe that this means AEW always planned Grand Slam to be a pay-per-view event and accused them of lying about it. And they said, wow, the original tweet was scheduled for 5 p.m. So they lied about it. Tony Khan recently addressed the scheduling change in an interview with Scott Fishman on TV Insider. He claimed that the event was always planned as a televised show. According to Khan, the decision was made based on the network's request. AEW Grand Slam Australia will take place on the 15th, this coming Saturday, my birthday, at the Brisbane Entertainment Center. But it's understandable why fans feel that they got scammed after they didn't get any refunds following the change in venue from the Suncorp Stadium. So is it going to be is it going to be on network TV? Is it going to be on pay-per-view? I don't know. But people are pissed, man. I mean, J-Bone, if you bought a ticket thinking that this event was going to be on pay-per-view, I don't know how they price tickets on a pay-per-view standpoint versus a regular televised TNT, TBS standpoint. I would assume it's a little bit different for the pricing. But either way, man, these fans are fucking pissed, man.
Yeah. I heard something about the story recently. I wasn't really following it, but that is confusing as hell. If you let's just if we go to the website, let's just go straight to the point of thing here with the. All right, press. Where we got here? Grand Slam, February 15th.
And J-Bone is going to the official AEW website to go check out exactly what Grand Slam is going to be on. Because I have no clue. I have no idea, because this has been just a very confusing development as far as so.
It looks like it's going to be. I mean, it looks like it's supposed to be a pay-per-view because it's going to be on Saturday.
Yeah, you would think it's a pay-per-view, especially with it being on a Saturday. But then again, Collision's on Saturdays. It's like, what are we doing here?
Most AEW PLEs, pay-per-views, whatever we're calling it, is on Sundays, right?
Yeah, they usually are on Sundays.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought, and I think that's where the confusion is happening here.
So, and it doesn't say anywhere on here that this is going to be like taped for a future TV event or something. Where if something is going to be taped, it'll say that.
Yeah.
Now I think there also is some confusion because of
I just
of when during the day it is.
I just Googled it. And it says TV channel TNT. You can watch it on Max, Fubo, Direct, Sling, Hulu Plus, Live TV, YouTube TV on TNT. And it's not going to be on pay-per-view.
Oh, that's so confusing. I'd be so pissed as anybody has paid any
money.
After
some initial, so according to sportskeeda.com, after some initial confusion about the show, here are the details you need to know about Grand Slam. The show will not have a pay-per-view format, contrary to initial belief. It will only be a 2-hour show similar to Collision. So why would they why would they confuse fans like this? They're already not very popular in that regard to fans. So why the hell would they rock the boat even more, man? That's just not going to make anybody show up for the.
Could it be something with ticket sales?
It could be. It could be. Hey, I mean, it could even be the people selling, like the vendor selling the tickets, saying, "Oh yeah, this is going to be a pay-per-view or whatever. Get the tickets now. It's going to be a pay-per-view price."
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe they try to pivot with ticket sales or something along those lines. I don't know, man. Everything is like a little confusing what's happening over there. So it's fitting at this point in juncture.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just wish they wouldn't rock the boat like this, man. I mean, this has been confusing since day one, especially since they have Grand Slam this weekend, and then they're counting it down to Revolution whenever Revolution is. I would assume it's sometime this month. Maybe the weekend after Grand Slam. I'm not sure, but I just wish they would make up their minds and stop pissing people off, honestly.
I'm not finding Grand Slam on TNT or TBS.
See, I don't know, man. That's what
I'm just looking at, like, my Spectrum guide for the future.
Yeah. And you're not seeing it anywhere on your guide at all?
I see Collision. I do not see Grand Slam.
Maybe a Collision is going to be, maybe they don't have it as titled as Grand Slam, then they'll just have it as Collision, but it's Grand Slam.
Because that's on at 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
That's following a basketball game, I believe, or something.
Yeah. So I would assume that the Collision will be Grand Slam on TNT.
Maybe. It's weird.
We'll have to keep an eye on that, but yeah, it's just very confusing and not what you want to have. You don't want any confusion, especially with, the ratings coming out as many times have we talked about the ratings. We don't want their ratings to suffer because of this confusion.
Maybe it'll be on Max. I don't know.
It could be on Max. It could be on TNT plus Max. We don't know. I have no clue. But either way, Grand Slam is this weekend. Wherever it's going to air, enjoy it. Some good news about Luchasaurus. It's been a while since we've seen him on AEW television. Matter of fact, several months after he's been dealing with some pretty severe health issues. While he's yet to return to AEW programming, he was spotted at a fan convention, which is good news. Twitter user The Editorial Style took to the social media platform and revealed that she and Luchasaurus were at the Toy Show over the weekend. She posted a photo of with him and other AEW stars, including Sky Blue and Danhausen. A fan then asked about Luchasaurus's condition. In response to the fan, she mentioned that Luchasaurus was feeling better. She added that he was really chill and nice, saying, quote, "He's doing really well. He was really chill and really awesome to hang out with." So that's good news about Luchasaurus. He does look a little thinner, but if you've been sick, then yeah, that's to come. Let's talk about Miro, and let's talk about Malachi Black, and let's talk about Ricky Starks, because hours after it was reported that Malachi Black's AEW contract had expired, it was spotted that Miro and Ricky Starks had been removed from the company's roster page. Now we know tonight that's true about Ricky Starks, as he was just seen on NXT tonight. While there's been no official word regarding anything about now it says, I guess that's old, about Ricky Starks. We now know that Miro has exited the company, according to a new report from PW Insider. It's revealed by Mike Johnson. Miro and AEW have mutually agreed the termination of his contract, with the two sides said to have been working towards an agreement for some time after he requested his release in the fall last year. after spending 9 years in the WWE, Miro joined AEW in 2020. He captured the TNT Championship within the first year of the company. So Ricky Starks on NXT, Malachi Black possibly going to the WWE, maybe. Where do we see, or going back to the WWE, do we see Miro following suit? Could he go back to World Wrestling Entertainment, or do you think that he's on to maybe, I don't know, TNA? J-Bone, your thoughts?
You know, if I had to pick a brand for either guy, I'd say Malachi Black would be a good fit back in the WWE. And I'll be honest, I would put him in a tag with Killer Cross. I think that'd be badass. That's the first thing I would do.
Yeah,
that would be really fucking good.
Rusev, or the artist formerly known as Rusev, WWE or TNA would be a good fit. Honestly, I think TNA would be honestly maybe a better fit. He needs a brand where he can be himself. Miro doesn't need a lot of gimmicks. He's always been just what do they call him? The Bulgarian brute back in the day.
Yeah.
Like back in the day. Back when I used to watch him years ago, back when I had teeth and my hips would actually move.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He was a Bulgarian brute, and boy, the women's panties would just drop.
Okay, old man J-Bone.
Okay. No, but yeah, like he doesn't need a big gimmick. Stick him on TNA, make him the badass. Please don't put him out there with a fucking Mickey Mouse shirt, and just let him go.
Up to his like, it's like a midriff Mickey Mouse shirt too.
Yeah, that's hot.
Baron, what do you think, man? I'm curious as to your thoughts. Do you think Malachi Black is going to head to WWE? That's the talks that have been having, as far as we know. And if Malachi Black goes back to WWE, where would Miro go?
I'm thinking both for the TNA. I think the partnership. I think if we think at the big picture here between both of them, they've both been in WWE. There's a reason why Ricky Starks, of course, he's had a little fling with WWE. Don't get me wrong, but he's a little bit younger, has a little bit more predominant future with that company. Mm-hmm. I don't think too much can become with Black at all. I just phenomenal in the ring. I don't think there's much stock in him.
I hate to interrupt you. That's the thing. People haven't seen him hardly at all. People forget how good he is in the ring. Dude, he is vicious,
Phenomenal.
I'm sorry.
Great. No, I agree. Phenomenal in the ring. But as we know, when it comes to WWE, that's not all that matters. So I think when it comes to ring work, phenomenal, great. I think there's some work that could be done to gravitate towards the audience. And I think both of them would benefit more going with TNA. I think they'll get lost in the shuffle again if they go to the main roster or even NXT. I don't think they need them in NXT. I think what NXT is currently doing is going to be great, grabbing young talent, building them up, moving them up, as we all wanted it. I think both of them would help TNA more than they would help WWE.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think if anything, they should go make a TNA run. I really do.
We keep saying TNA. There's other options out there, guys. I mean, I think we're thinking of it like the top 4 big promotions. We always throw, like TNA just because of the partnership with WWE in there. There's other places out there for them to succeed, but I think they would benefit fucking TNA heavily.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting ready to say, is that TNA is becoming one of those companies that is being talked about. It's becoming one of the bigger companies that we know of. I mean, gosh, they make our news every week, because they're making these big moves. So why not bring Malachi Black or Miro into the picture, into the fold at TNA?
Yeah,
And
could you imagine those two on the roster with what they currently have? That helps
No.
elevate TNA big time to the next
heavily,
level. So.
yeah, and that's what they need. I mean, if they really want to make moves, especially with all the roster cuts that they've had, and one of them is Josh Alexander. And as we shift over into TNA, the focus on TNA, Josh Alexander, he is up in a lot of conversations because we know that his TNA contract has expired. He had a very successful run in TNA, but it almost seems that he will be leaving on the 14th. His contract expires on the 14th, and he will be a free agent on Saturday. However, he has now shared his goals in case he decides to re-sign with TNA. While speaking on Pro Wrestling Wire, Alexander revealed that if he re-signs with TNA, his goal would be to reclaim the TNA World Championship and properly finish the reign he had had to end due to injury. He admitted it was disappointing not to win back the title, but acknowledged that wrestling is unpredictable with many deserving talents in TNA. Josh Alexander's second reign as TNA World Champion lasted 336 days, which is very impressive, but it was cut short due to a bicep injury that forced him to relinquish the title. Now, despite having multiple chances to regain the championship, he never won it back. But before his contract expires, Alexander is scheduled to face Eric Young on February 13th, that episode of TNA Impact, a match that is being heavily promoted at his final appearance in the company. Therefore, we'll have to wait and see what Alexander will do in the end, as his future remains kind of uncertain as his contract expiry looms. But this could be what we've been talking about with Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, current champ. If Josh Alexander, J-Bone, re-signs with TNA, they build the contract, or the feud rather, between Josh Alexander and Joe Hendry, and maybe wait to Slammiversary, however close we are to another Slammiversary, I don't know. But wait it out that long, because we know at some point, Joe Hendry is going to go to WWE. He's going to make his main roster debut at some point. So if Josh Alexander re-signs with TNA, they meet, he drops it, Joe Hendry drops it, and Josh Alexander gets that title back. Hendry's off to WWE. That just means Josh Alexander gets that push that both he and the company needs, man.
I don't see it happening. I think he's going to be done this week. This match that's coming up on Thursday. Let me just refresh my memory here, because there's always so much going on in the world of wrestling. Sometimes your head spins. Okay, so he's facing Eric Young, and that's it says competes in his farewell match.
Yes,
and that's the way it's being advertised.
Yes.
So, is it possible that he's not going to sign anywhere else after some contract negotiations? Yes, absolutely possible. We saw that with Trey Miguel, where Trey Miguel left with the Rascals. All three left. 2 stayed in NXT. 1 came back.
Yeah,
and that's what we have. Now.
And what's to say that? Okay, so they don't re-sign his contract now, but Joe Hendry goes off and he defends the title, keeps the title for as long as he can, but then a surprise comeback from Josh Alexander to attack Joe Hendry at some point.
It certainly could happen in the realm of wrestling. It's nothing's impossible, but I seriously think Josh Alexander is going to have a plethora of people throwing contracts at him. And I think WWE is going to be where he lands, but don't quote me on that because like we just said, there are options out there, you know.
It would be smart if he landed in either NXT or WWE.
I think so. You know, I know he's one thing is that's for certain is Josh Alexander is a family man.
Mm-hmm.
And I know family is first. You know, those kids are very important to him. They've even been featured on, you know, TNA programming. And his wife Jade, you know, has been just an amazing support system for him, no matter where he's been in his career. But obviously that they have to come with him wherever he goes, you know. So if he transitions down to say he transitions down to NXT, that family's going to move down to Florida with him, you know, and, you know, start a whole new life. It's, you know, he's got a lot on his plate. He's got a lot to figure out what's best for he and his family, you know. So,
and Mir said it best, you know, Vengeance Day is Saturday, the day after his contract expires. So
he could show up at Vengeance Day.
Yep.
He absolutely could and shock the world. And I don't know if Ethan Page has a match on that card. But you know, that could be a factor. Who knows? But a lot of people that I see, you know, have discussions about, have him show up in NXT and back up Ethan Page, because it doesn't seem like those two have patched things up. I know they were kind of at odds for a while after Ethan Page left TNA years ago, but I think putting those two together could be one of the biggest thing for tag team wrestling, and it could really benefit both.
Yeah,
it'd be because that team still to this day is TNA's longest reigning tag team champs ever.
So as of right now, for NXT Vengeance Day, here's the card as it stands right now. The NXT Championship, Obafemi versus Grayson Waller versus Austin Theory. NXT Women's Championship between Julia Bailey, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade. The NXT Women's North American Championship between Fallon Henley and Stephanie Vaquer. The NXT Tag Team Championship between Fraxium and Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. The strap match between Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe and Ethan Page and Javon Evans. So Ethan Page does have a match.
Okay.
Vengeance Day. So, but either way, he could show up to Vengeance Day and start a feud with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, shit, it could even be Obafemi, you know, to take that, to try to take that title. But who knows if Oba keeps it? I'm not saying that. That's not a prediction, but I you know, it
sounded like a prediction to me. You made a prediction right there, bud. We're gonna put that down on our prediction list. So there it is. I think Josh and Eric Young should make a tag team like Good Brothers 2.0 because I feel like they're the same fucking person.
All right.
Every time I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. It reminds me. Both of them remind me of each other.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I think Obafemi's destined for the main roster, so we could see a shakeup at the top of NXT.
We could.
I don't know. Obafemi's quite the character. He's got quite the following.
When is Vengeance Day?
This Saturday.
Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I get so.
Do we want to do quick predictions after the last story for TNA? Maybe.
I know I'm not going to watch it live, but
Vengeance Day. Yeah, I probably won't watch it live either. That's Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday.
I know. I'm working.
Saturday 13th. Never mind. We're the 11th. My bad.
Whoa! Rewind.
Yeah. No, see, that's the thing is we know the place and the time for Vengeance Day. We don't for Grand Slam.
Yeah, right. Yeah, boy, that was chef's kiss right there, J-Bone. I love that.
So which one are you gonna watch?
Yeah, which one are you gonna watch? TNA, man, we keep talking about it, but they are certainly shaking up things with possible crossovers and appearances, and they're really making the most of this partnership with WWE as it involves some major shakeups and some prize returns too. How about Jazz making her return to Impact in a knockouts battle? Yeah, Baron, that Jazz from WWF.
ECW.
I thought we were talking about the Utah Jazz.
No, not the
my favorite basketball team of all time. No. I got excited. Are we talking basketball, folks? No.
Oh my God.
No, we're not talking basketball anymore.
Where the hell is Utah?
yeah, I know.
I can't even find it on a fucking map. I don't even. Utah's
over here somewhere.
Yes, somewhere around
somewhere west of Albuquerque.
Yeah, we know it's not anywhere south, but Jazz, man, making her return to Impact in a knockouts battle. So shout outs to Jazz on that. And some other folks who have addressed a possible TNA crossover is Ray and Dominic Mysterio. Possibly crossing over into the TNA brand. They're not putting it out of the realm of possibility, which would be really, really good for TNA if Rey Mysterio and Dominic both crossed over and just made like some appearances. That would be cool, man. Honestly,
I would love to see. Now, don't get me wrong. Ray coming over to TNA and have like. It doesn't even have to be like a mega feud.
No,
he's at the age where he's done everything. Yeah. I don't need to see him set up for some. Oh my God, it's the feud of the century. No, just what? Put him in a match with Laredo Kid. I'm good.
Or just have him come out with some luchador. It doesn't matter who. What it just if Ray shows up on TNA TV, my God, I see everybody subscribing to Access TV just to see Rey Mysterio or Dominic Mysterio cross over to TNA.
But if I see Dominic show up, I would love to see him in a match versus someone like Ace Austin. I'm just quick scrolling down the roster page here. We'll say Ace Austin, Jason Hotch. I'd love to see a match. Or how about Dominic Mysterio versus Casey Navarro?
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
Which, by the way, we didn't even mention this, man. The system was on NXT tonight.
They were?
Yeah. The system was on NXT. I was sitting here prepping for the show, and I heard some weird music, and I turned and somebody said the system was coming out. I'm like, oh my God, the system is on NXT. That's so dope.
How is that not in the news?
I don't know how that's not in my news. I totally forgot about the fucking system.
Well, because I dozed off during. Oh, big surprise! I dozed off for a good portion of it. No one is talking about this.
Yeah, that was pretty big, man. The system Is
I don't remember that. I must have missed that, or I might have had a smoke break or whatever.
I heard trust the system.
Yeah, I don't remember that because I did watch NXT tonight. I will go back on the Mysterio thing here. Okay,
Yeah.
let's be realistic here.
Uh-huh.
Dominic Mysterio is not going to TNA. He is, I would say, top 3 probably heels in the company. He gets the most reaction.
Just as a rivalry,
as an appearance.
Right, even so as an appearance. I'm not saying going over full time. I'm saying even as an appearance. Ray, absolutely. I can see he's at 50 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
He can go and do whatever he wants, and I think he would be great over there. And I clicked the wrong button. But I'm back. I think Dominic Mysterio is so high up on WWE's threshold of just being that guy that they get the bad reaction that I don't ever see him going anywhere, even if it's cross promotion or anything along those lines. Like Dominic Mysterio, whether we like him or not, is fucking over.
Oh yeah,
that X-Pac, he is unreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just maybe like a one-time appearance Dominic could, and he didn't say that he was going to appear on NXT. It was just a possibility. Ray is a possibility. Fuck, I mean, anybody on the WWE roster is a possibility. Has a possibility of showing up on TNA, but it's just an exciting time to be a TNA fan as of right now, and looking forward to seeing.
Okay, so what you were talking, I hate to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about, I'm just quick scrolling through the socials here. You're talking about Fandango showing up, dirty JDC, but he's part of the system.
Yeah, but I heard the system's music.
He came out to the system's music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what you're talking about.
So
okay.
JDC
I'm like,
showed up on.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in here working on the show.
Right.
And I just heard the system on they said trust the system, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the system.
Yeah. So he wrestled
Fandango.
No, he wrestled oh my god. I can't think of the kid's name. He was wrestling for the Heritage Championship.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Lexus King.
Okay, I got you. Right on. Well, that's the show, guys. That was a lot of fun, man, and we had a lot of news, and it's just a really, really cool time to be a wrestling fan right now. And we're here to give it to you. And thank you, Mir Lexus King. We appreciate you. And so it sucks that Max couldn't be here, my best friend.
Ciao, I'm logging off. Cut the show. We're fucking done. We went the entire hour and 48 minutes without having to mention his ass and that best friend.
Don't worry,
Love
my
you, Max.
best friend will be back. He will be back next week.
Oh, thank God.
We just had to take care of some stuff. Max is okay. He sends his love. Thank you so much, Courtney. We love you,
Courtney.
Thank you.
And thank you for 223 subscribers to our wonderful channel. We certainly do appreciate you subscribing. And please subscribe to the channel, like our videos. That tells YouTube you enjoy what we're doing and pushes our videos onto other folks. And we give you the best. We try to cover all the wrestling that we can as far as news goes. But we do appreciate you tuning in. Anyway, follow us on all the socials. I'm going to give it over to the guys. We'll start with J-Bone. How can they follow you, sir?
You can catch me on the old Twitter box at JBone5150. You can also catch me every Thursday over on that other little podcast called Total Nonstop Impact, where we cover all things TNA.
There you go. You can follow Max Magus on several different platforms, or several different handles, rather, at Max Magus. And you can also follow him on another show that he does, which is Random Shots at R Shots Podcast. I believe that's what it's called. Max, don't hate me if you watch this back. I'm just trying to cover you, buddy. But definitely follow him at Max Magus on social media. Baron, how can they? Don't you dare! Don't you do it, Baron? How can they follow you?
Well, it's not in there, but you can follow me on the Twitter at Scumbag Jordan with three N's.
Yes, and you can follow the show page on X at the Ramblers Pod. You can also find us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed, and please do subscribe to the channel. Please do like the videos. That does tell YouTube that you enjoy what we're doing here, and pushes our videos onto other folks. So again, please enjoy professional wrestling for what it is, no matter what promotion you watch, whether it be professional or indie. Just go out and enjoy some pro wrestling, and we will talk to you on Tuesday, next Tuesday. Same time, same channel right here on youtube.com/Ramblers Unleashed and on Twitch TV. Until then, enjoy wrestling. Take care. See ya.
Peace and love.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.
It sounded like a fart, man.